Alright, here we go. This is game 3 of 3. This is the final match between Turkleton and Tangibility for Tipsy 3000's February 1v1 Iron Man ladder, and we are here on Nesthorn. Actually, interesting to see Tangibility deciding to go with the Warthog instead of the Neo, and look at this ridiculous loadout. Rebels, Buckies, Sam's, all the nonsense. Let's see how this pans out for him. Turkleton with pretty much the exact same loadout as before, Neo and Longhorns, Jackals, etc., etc. Putting down probes. Tangi does not look like he's going for the typical opening with the probe, or rather infantry spam on Nesthorn. Turkleton will definitely be able to take this right away, except if that rebel actually shoots down all the probes that go in. And Tangi with the rebel spam, look at all the rebels over here. This is crazy how, look at this, it's just keeping everything neutral. And now Jackals are coming up here for Tangibility, and now Tangi, without the probe spam, has mid completely surrounded. There is nothing. Wow, that was very interesting. With the Warthog, with the Rebels, with the Jackals, and completely takes control of mid without having to use infantry spam or probes. That is a very, very... I have never seen that on Nesthorn. I don't know how many of the high-tier players have seen something like that, but I personally have not. And Tangibility going straight for this left outpost. It just ripping things up with this Warthog. He did send some rebels to the front of Turkleton's fort, and Turkleton dropping probes in defense. He has that seeker down, and now forcing Tangibility to get out of there. Tangi is now going for these neutrals. Is going. Oh my God! It took out. Look how fast it took out those that Longhorn. Warthogs just freaking eat tanks. It's ridiculous, especially if shooting at the back. And he actually decides to keep the Seekers there because he wants his creeps to move through, but not the Turkleton himself. Being able to keep that Seeker there will keep a little bit of a leash on Turkleton's flyovers. And right now, Tangibility bringing the rebels out, but he doesn't leave it there. He sets it to attack, and so they are going. But the Jackals do get to pass through since those Longhorn are gone, and now Tangibility is free to attack both outposts at the same time, just because he can. Just because he is insane. And right now, Turkleton using the probes for their defensive spam, he does not have... Where did all the tanks from the other games go? There are no more here. And even if he can completely follow Tangi back, the Warthog is so tanky that by himself, without too much support, he is not going to be able to chase down Tangibility. And Tangibility is sending every single one, except for one of his Jackals and Rebels, from mid to this other outpost. Actually going for... They are actually not going for that. They are going for the main. They are going for Turkleton's fort. And Turkleton right now... Oh, Tangi did take out all his moneymakers. After neutralizing this outpost, Tangibility has taken this one now. He surrounded this one for the most part with Rebels and Jackals, but he has taken this outpost, and he is sending Jackals, Buckies, and all that craziness over to the fort over there for Turkleton on his side. But now Tangi doing another Jackal drop, bringing... Look at this. There is just... Jackals and Rebels attack light, and they are causing so much damage to Turkleton. If anybody is going to change this, the meta of this game, I'm pretty sure it's Tangibility. Holy crap. And right now, there is so many units everywhere for Tangi. Turkleton is just doing a scramble to be able to keep his outposts from Rebels and Jackals, ridiculously enough. And he is, Tangi is just non-stop with this pressure. He drops a Jackal over here to help him take this Moneymaker out, and he does. Turkleton cannot save it. He also takes down that other, I think that was another Moneymaker as well. No, it does not look like the debris of a Moneymaker. But whatever it was, he did take it out, and there are just more Jackals, more Rebels coming over here. They are fairly cheap units to make per unit, and right now, Tangi did look like he was carrying a blue Longhorn there. These replays are still a little bit buggy, but he still has... He is just going for this power station, and Turkleton tries to come back to respond because this is pretty much Turkleton's only shot at when he's keeping this power station. Even though his focus is split between those two outposts, Tangi does get taken down there. Not tanky enough, not quite tanky enough. That Warthog does not get away, and Turkleton is OP. Holy moly. Turkleton taking probes, taking creeps, trying to neutralize this outpost. Tangi has still not respawned. Warthog with the horrible worst respawn time in the game, but it does now. He does now respawn. He is sending these jackals. He is picking whatever he can up and sending them. But Turkleton now has a fairly good foothold on this outpost, but he is not corner defending. He is just putting them on the bunkers, which will split the fire of these Longhorns. And now Turkleton putting creeps over here out of the way of the Jackal and Rebel fire. Tangibility is responding, is putting down SAMs in the bunkers to keep these infantry out of the way. And he does drop, Turkleton does drop a Longhorn right there at the front door, but Tangibility is coming back to respawn. All he really has to do is hit that, hit the Longhorn straight in the back. He is actually, oh, I thought he was going to block with that Jackal and shoot with himself, but he does land. He is dropping that, no, does not drop the Jackal to block any other front door, any potential front door attacks. And he is dropping the Jackal for this outpost. He is just non-stop with this harass. It's not even, I don't know, it's a weird combination, I think, of the nature of it is like, it's a weird combination of harass and attack. Yeah, it's really hard to describe. Now dropping the Buckies, he knows exactly where to put them to get them out of these Longhorns range, but to keep them within the Bucky range. So he is, like, Turkleton is forced to respond to this, and Tangibility now has this outpost. There's only one Longhorn left. It will go down very quickly. It will die. Now, Turkleton is cleaning up the rest of these red units that were dropped, but more just keep incoming. And look at this left side. Look how many are coming in. It's crazy. Tangibility drops to shoot with his own Warthog's primary attack, but there are so many Jackals here. It's weird how these Jackals can keep up with these Longhorn. Even though there's pretty much the same number, I guess with a mech support it works pretty well. And in defense, unless you're an Osprey, it's not as effective to just try to micro-heal everything up. But yeah, everything's getting all taken out. Tangibility has full map control and is shooting at Turkleton from the air. Has level 1 air to ground. And these creeps are just getting taken out by this Bucky. Actually, the Bucky does go down, but Tangibility deciding to take care of that last Longhorn. Turkleton is, I mean, if I were a Turkleton right now, I would be at a loss. I would not know at all how to deal with this extremely unorthodox play from Tangibility. It's extremely different from anything that we've seen in this ladder so far. It's very refreshing to not see a bomber in this in these matchups. Nothing against bomber, but it was just getting a little stale. But Turkleton is forced to drop that. It does run out of energy. It does get set to attack, but Tangibility is going to be able to take this out before it even gets anywhere close to his fort. And right now, Turkleton is just trying to scramble, trying to make whatever units he can. Tangibility is so ahead in the economy just because he doesn't have any outposts. Turkleton does not have any outposts. So this is just looking really bad for Turkleton. And Tangibility is just not stopping with it. I mean, he can make so many units just because they are so cheap. So it looks like he has a lot of units on the field because he does, because he can, because they are cheap. And right now, Turkleton trying to make a wall in front of his fort. But now incoming Buckies and Jackals, it will not stop. And Tangibility here to shoot with his Warthog will do all kinds of damage, will kill so many units. There is only 2 Longhorn down here. One Seeker did get dropped, or did get saved by Turkleton. It is shooting straight at Tangi, but Tangi will take it out. Once he gets to the back, boom, it does get killed. And now Tangi is just sending more Buckies and more Rebels. Turkleton trying to drop here and trying to take care of this Bertha, but Berthas do not die very quickly at all. Turkleton does not decide to EMP there. And there is nothing left here for Turkleton. There's one Longhorn versus a Bucky and a Rebel. It does go down, and at this point there is very little that Turkleton can do. Tangi has so many units, and the funny thing is, I thought that just now, but if you look at it, there weren't that many. He just creates the illusion of a lot of units amazingly just by producing so many and dropping them so quickly, even with a Warthog. Even with a Warthog. But right now is pinned down, very low on life, does get taken down after that liftoff, and Turkleton is finishing off these Buckies. And it will take a very long time for Tangibility to respawn. And that Longhorn so low on health, Turkleton is able to save it there. And if you look at their life, actually, halftime heal did just kick in, so Turk does not have a lot of fort health taken out, but it was very much at the expense of the halftime credits. So right now, look at all of these SAMs heading over for Tangibility. There are, I'm not even going to count, I'm going to guess something like 15 at least. And this is just, and Turkleton does see it, he does throw up the LOL. There are a lot of freaking SAMs here, and I'm pretty sure once that train hits the end of the line, hits Turkleton's fort, they will spell the end of the game. And he's just dropping them and dropping them. He has a lot of Buckies as well. He has stopped producing spams. He has stopped producing SAMs. And right now, Tangibility is trying to, I don't know, he's just dropping Buckies. He's just dropping Buckies. Turkleton is the one that needs to actually try to keep up with this. It's ridiculous how many Buckies there are, and they're spread out so difficultly to handle. It's almost as if Tenji has practiced this specific one, this exact specific thing before. And you know what? He might have. I wouldn't be that surprised. But my guess is he hasn't. He just has this natural talent to be able to kind of do whatever he wants using whatever units he can. And right now, where is that line? Where is that line of SAMs? Line of SAMs is right here. Right there. Almost there. Almost GG. It's very close. Turkleton is very starved for credits. He only has 6,200, and Tangi has 6 to 123 upkeep advantage. This line is coming over. It will completely annihilate Turkleton once it gets here. And boom, boom, boom. Turkleton drops with the EMP, but it's so dangerous to do that. And look how many missiles are coming at him. And right now, his life is at like a third. It's at a quarter. It's so close to being done. And Turkleton almost gets taken out there by all those Samfire. And it is end of the game now. Turkleton does go down to Tangibility. Tangibility takes this series through 2 games to 1. Very interesting last game. This is RUQI. That's game. See you next time.